Hola amigos, hello from beautiful Guatemala. It's a thundery afternoon over here, which is quite unusual. It is dry season and we haven't seen rain for a while, including this afternoon, but we're hitting a lot of thunder, so I thought of just catching this wave of this energy and this power that's coming with the thunders and sharing with you about one of my most powerful experiences in these last few weeks. And it has to do with reclaiming our own energy. And when I say energy, I don't mean anything spiritual. I mean this very basic energy that is flowing through our bodies in this very moment. And I mean this very universal fact that when we have more energy flowing through this body, we're able to enjoy life more, we're able to do more, to create more, and be of service to others, to our planet, to ourselves. And when we don't have energy, well, we're not able to do those things. Or we are able to do them, but not really to the full extent of our capacity. And you know what I've been noticing in myself is that it's very easy for us humans to come up with stories as to why it is okay to have our energy drained and wasted by certain things in certain situations. Maybe it's like, oh, I have all this work to do. I cannot be affording to, follow whatever my energy naturally wants to take me, because if I follow that, it's going to take me on the couch with the phone in my hand, like just browsing through Facebook all day or, eating junk food all day or watching Netflix or whatever, And I see that and I know that from my own experience, because these last few weeks, I've been going through this state of overwhelm actually and making my way out of it. And, and the exhaustion of that and the way that exhaustion, it's exactly what it does. It's like when you're exhausted, that's exactly what you want to do. You just want to splash around and, get comfortable with whatever brings you that comfort. And so more recently, however, actually it was this last Saturday on the new moon, I had this very, very powerful experience that really changed things for me. I went for a trip with mushrooms, and it was one of the worst trips of my entire life. So in that trip, although I've heard about this many times before, and I'm going to go a little bit more spiritual here for those of you who are more pragmatic, but trust me, it makes sense. So so I went into this experience and I suddenly realized that there was this being, this spirit or disembodied ghost or something that was sucking on my energy. And as I encountered this being, at first I was like, is this really happening? Am I just like imagining things? It's like, come on. But I've heard of it before, but a part of me was like doubting, like this cannot be real, this cannot be true. But when you're in this really like deep state with mushrooms, it is crazy how real and intense things can be. And and as I was sitting there and I was going through the pain and the fear and the exhaustion of facing this being and the spirit and whatever that was, and not even being able to tell what it is and how it came here and how the hell to make it go away, I sort of had to make some decisions. And they came as these thoughts. I was just like figuring out what to do with this. The first thought that came up was, I cannot afford to have this being keep on draining my energy. It really felt like a matter of life and death. I really felt like it is a battle and this is my fucking enemy in front of me, And I was just like, whoa, and I was just like, I can't afford to lose this battle. And that was it. It was just clear. The second thought that came to me was, I need to believe, in order to not lose this battle, I know it is important to remember that I am stronger than this being. And I had this thought come up of, it's like I have a whole body and the spirit, and it is just a spirit. Therefore, by definition, I have more energy than it. And it is the same with any habit, with any pattern that we might have that we might want to get rid of, right? But in that state, it was like, I know I am stronger than this being. And I need to know that in order to kick his ass. And the third thing I realized is that my strength and my power actually are in this decision itself. And that once I have decided, there's no way I'm going to lose this game. And I might not have any clue how to deal with this because I haven't really encountered it, neither in this state nor in, just really having to work with this kind of stuff before. But it was like, okay, I have taken the decision. So now it's just about finding the way. And I spent the next few hours finding the way. And it was not easy. It was absolutely exhausting. And I actually, by the time I finished, I was just crying and I was just so exhausted. I could barely lift myself out of the couch. And it took me a couple of days to recover. And then the gifts of this experience started coming in. And this is what I have to share with you today. And the gifts of this experience actually came up as I sat in authentic relating and then in, journaling, connecting with my inner shaman. There's a practice that we're doing in the shamanic course that I've been guiding. And I realized that I am not able to trust my own energy because there is something that is sucking on it and that my body and my being is naturally going to go towards, that while it's there, I cannot trust my body and my energy to guide me in the right direction. And that was my habit of browsing on my phone and spending all this time scrolling and answering messages and whatever. And I was like, right, so it's the same game. It is absolutely the same thing I experienced with the spirit. And right now, the spirit is the phone and Facebook and whatever. In your case, it might be food or Netflix or whatever it is that is your guilty pleasure. And it was just this series of choices that I made that I want to invite you to make when it comes to, having some kind of habits that are making you actually misalign your mind and your energetics. Where your mind is pulling in one direction and the energy is pulling in the other direction. You're like, what do I do? And you get exhausted in that. So I want to invite you to make those decisions that I made when I realized this. So the first decision was, my energy is the most important resource that I have. And therefore, it is priority. There is no excuse whatsoever that I can be having to be draining my energy. Full stop. That was the first decision. My energy is important to me. Second decision, I cannot afford my energy to be drained by anything and create this mistrust in myself. I cannot afford to have that. And it is a matter of life and death. It is a matter of the way, if I really want to show up for myself, for others, for everything I want to create, I cannot afford that. I cannot. Just admitting that to yourself. And once you've admitted that, the third decision is, I am stronger than this. I am stronger than this pattern. I'm stronger than this habit. And I'm going to kick its butt. And the final fourth decision is that the strength and the power that I have is actually in my capacity to make a decision, to make a choice, to change things. And I am taking this decision right now to change things. And something that can be very helpful in making that decision and sticking through with it. There's two basic things. The first one is get a specific rule as to how you're going to engage from now on in relating to whatever it is that you need to be relating to. So for example, in my case with the phone, it was clear to me that yes, my phone is of service to me. But it is of service to me when I stop being its slave. And I realize that it is my servant. And that I am going to approach it intentionally, And intentionally for me meant I'm going to only pick it up when I have something to respond to or when I have something to share. That's it. Plain simple. And the second thing that's going to make it easier for you to make that decision and stick with it is having a witness. And the more respecting you feel of that witness, the more likely you're going to be to stick with your decision. So in my case, I summoned all the possible witnesses I could have. First I promised to my spirit guides, then I promised to the lake, with which I have been having this beautiful relationship for 3 months now, and I've shown up for it every single day. I promised to the lake. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm dropping this whole thing with the phone. And and I promised to myself, and I shared with people, I shared with friends, I shared with everyone. And you know, the way it is very important to have witness. And it is very important for that to be anything, you know, you can promise it to the creator or to nature or to God or to whatever you really believe in that is greater than yourself. And and ever since I did that, ever since I made those choices, it's been this incredible journey, really. It's just having so much energy in my body and having so much creativity flowing like these last few days. It's just been amazing. I don't even remember the last time I had so much energy. And actually, having that, I don't really feel like reaching for my phone. It is amazing. And I'm really certain that I'm going to stick with it. So those are my tips for you guys today if you feel like really readjusting your relationship with your own energy and coming in alignment with it. And I hope it's been useful. And if you feel like exploring this more in community, we have beautiful events going on in the playground, Connection Playground online all the time, offering different kinds of workshops where we explore different things like this together. And if any of you feels like, I would like to actually have some support around doing this work in one-on-one basis, I'm always happy to support you with my coaching work. And I'm looking forward to hearing what all of this has brought up for you, and wish you a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, afternoon, morning, whatever it is that you have ahead of you. Take care.